Hi Fearless family, it's Lana from Kurly Klips and I'm your fearless inspiration for the week.
This could also be in our bloopers too. Alright, so Lana, tell us a little bit about Kurly Klips and why you started it.
Alright, so basically I started Kurly Klips to help me with my natural hair journey. I had gone to see a stylist, she really butchered my hair and my natural hair was really short. I lost a lot of length. So I went to Google and I tried to find clip-in extensions to match my natural textured hair because before I was doing primarily sew-ins and that nature, but I wanted more control over my tresses. And I looked on Google and I couldn't find any and I thought that was absolutely crazy. So I started Kurly Klips as the first company dedicated to clip-in extensions for curly and afro textured hair.
Perfect. Okay, so what type of experience do you want your customers to walk away with?
I just want my customers, to have an incredibly quality and premium product, a product that they can use, over and over again for months and months and months and months. I want my customers to have a great customer service experience, and I want them to feel like they invested their money well. I want them to feel really loved and part of a family that cares about them and the health of their hair.
Okay, cool. And how often do you really rock your Kurly Klips?
Okay, so really I wear my Kurly Klips seasonally. So in the summertime I primarily wear my own natural hair because just the environment does really great things to it. But on the winter time I primarily wear my Kurly Klips, and that's kind of fall, winter, kind of into spring. Typically I do a lot of wash and sets, so I'll wear my spirals collection, but then as the weather gets warmer, I'll go into the my fro. But then when it gets really hot, I'm like, I don't want all this hair, and that's when I just wear my natural hair.
What is the biggest obstacle that you've faced so far?
In life?
In life, in general.
The biggest obstacle I have faced was definitely with my accident, and that's when it was a random accident at school and I had severe trauma to my head, my back, my neck, minor brain damage, a sprained arm, and I actually had surgery in my face. And I know you can't see it because they went through my jaw to kind of like fix everything in there, but it was really tough because I was bedridden for a while, and so I was really young, I couldn't go to school, and so I really had to battle loneliness, depression, just physical pain, and that was really tough, but I got through it and it really helped me value life more.
And also, I know becoming an entrepreneur is also something that you have, found being a big obstacle. So what's one piece of advice that you wish someone would have told you when you started your own new business?
The advice that I can give to other entrepreneurs is that research is so easy. It's literally a Google click away. And recently I've really gotten into podcasts, and if you listen to the right podcast, you can get such invaluable information about business, how to run a business, how to build a brand, how to do all of that. And the information is available for free. Podcasts are an amazing resource, and I just started listening to them this January. And I really wish I'd been listening to them the entire time I've been in business, because I really felt like I've gotten an MBA just by listening to podcasts every day.
Here, at Don'tDieAfraid.com, we are all about being a fearless family. And I want my life purpose to be making sure that people don't freeze in fear. So what has been one moment where you've frozen in fear and it's prevented you from progressing to the next level?
There was a time in Kurly Klips, and it's the same is true today, but I run the majority of this business myself, from customer service to supply chain management to marketing to inventory. I don't ship anything anymore, warehouses do that, but for the most part I do everything myself. And so at one point I was getting really overwhelmed, especially because I don't necessarily have a lot of art skills. So I don't have graphic design skills, and I don't have kind of like a lot of photography skills. And so when you're trying to market a business, photography and graphic design, those are really important aspects. So for a while I just wanted to hire them out because the thought of learning them while doing the business just seemed so hard. And it really kind of got me off track. Like, Instagram doesn't come naturally to me, and I was like, oh my god, like what am I gonna do? And I was literally frozen for at least 6 months. And it wasn't until I decided to kind of rearrange my life. I took some cues from a podcast that I had listened to, and what I did was I really just started waking up at 7 o'clock, and the first thing I did with my morning was take some Skillshare classes. And Skillshare is like $10 a month. You can take as many classes as you want. But I started taking them in typography, graphic design, and photography. And each class length was just about 10 minutes long. So the first 40 minutes of my day, before I did anything else, I would just do those classes and take notes. And literally within 2 weeks, I was so much more proficient, and I was so much more confident in creating all the graphics and the photography that I needed for my business. And it was so crazy that I let that really trap me, you know, and freeze me in fear for so long. But, you know, once I just dedicated learning, you know, those skills, it really wasn't that bad at all.
Cool. So the opposite of being frozen in fear is like your fearless moment. So when is a moment that you can think back to and you think, that was fearless Lana? And I don't know what was going through her head at that moment, but that was fearless, and I would definitely do it again.
You know, I think it's really, honestly, all about just starting your own business and putting yourself out there. I was coming from a journalism background and also from an international policy background. You know, that's what I studied in school. That's what I had done all my internships in. And I, you know, didn't have a business degree. I didn't have, you know, I'm not a stylist. I wasn't in the beauty industry before, the hair industry. And so the fact that I just created something on my own like that, and I made myself the brand, that's really scary, because when you make yourself the brand and you use your picture as the model and you go on YouTube representing the brand, if people don't like that, they say Kurly Klips sucks, the hair sucks. I mean, that's a direct, like literally a direct reflection of me. And that's really, really scary. So just thinking about how the business was started and putting myself out there like that, even today, I'm like, I can't believe you actually did it. But it's worked out, and Kurly Klips has sold in over, at this point, 40 countries, including Saudi, like all over the Middle East, you know, all over Africa, all over Europe. Shout out to my Kurlies in Poland. I mean, like, it's turned into this international beast, and I'm so happy for it. I'm so happy, and I have such a wonderful community and such great support. So being fearless was totally worth it.
Here at Don't Die Afraid, we're also really big on gratitude, because I believe that you can never move to the next step without being grateful for where you're at. So how does gratitude show up in your life on a daily basis?
You know, I try to keep a gratitude journal, to be honest. So before, when I was doing my Skillshare classes, I couldn't necessarily do the journal because I had to get those classes out the way, else I would just never do them. So like they were literally the first thing I did. But now, and what I actually did before too, was keep a gratitude journal. And that really keeps you sane, especially when you be getting some crazy emails in your inbox. Sometimes you gotta go back to that gratitude journal, girl. So I keep a gratitude journal, and there's so many things to be grateful for. And you know, I was listening to a podcast on the negativity bias, and it talked about how humans are, for survival, we kind of evolved with this negativity bias to put more emphasis on the negative stuff, and that really helped us from getting eaten by dinosaurs, or, well, not dinosaurs, but by, you know, getting eaten by other animals, and for just surviving. But now in a modern world, that negativity bias doesn't necessarily have that much of a place. So it's about balancing out, you know, all the positive things that do happen in your life, and really stop focusing on the negative things. Because if you don't feel grateful for where you are now, just like you said, you'll never get anywhere else. You have to reach peace with where you are. And then, you know, once you clean up your inside, that's when you'll see your external and your environment start to change.
Definitely.
So gratitude journal definitely helps.
Gratitude. So do I. I keep more of it's on Post-its, and then I put it in like a jar, and then I read it like a year later. And I'm like,
That is
I remember
so
this happening.
nice.
So yeah, journaling is a lot, but just on my Post-it notes, you know, cute and colorful.
Yeah, that's so cute. I think I might start that too.
And then our last question is for everyone out there watching, what is a way for them to stop freezing in fear? So what would be your advice to them?
Bite-sized pieces. Don't look at a task as like a huge, big task. Break it down into bite-sized pieces. So when I wanted to start Kurly Klips and I had the idea, the first thing I did was do a business plan. And I took the business plan even in bite-sized pieces. So I said, today I'll work on the marketing part of the business plan. Tomorrow I'll work on the inventory part of the business plan. The next day I'll work on the finance part of it. When you break everything down, and then once you finish the business plan, you move on to the other thing, and then you break that down into bite-sized pieces. Same thing what I did with the classes on graphic design and photography. You know, just break it down into really digestible bits of learning, and when you do that, it helps you from freezing because you realize it's not that hard.
So Lana, where can we find these amazing Kurly Klips for all of our natural girls out there who are thinking, where can I get them?
Yeah, you can find Kurly Klips at kurlyklips.com, and that's Kurly Klips spelled with K's because Kurly Klips spelled with C's were taken by like a paperclip company at the time, but now somebody's like trying to extort me for the name. It's like went out of business. I don't know what's going on. So you can find me at Kurly Klips, KURLYKLIPS.com, and also I keep a blog, so that's blog.kurlyklips.com if you want to read up on, you know, life design, different hairstyles, all that good stuff.
Cool. And I also know that on your Instagram you like to profile your customers as well. So do they just like hashtag Kurly Klips and then you can find them?
Absolutely. If you can visit the Instagram, which is Kurly_Klips, and if you just hashtag Kurly Klips, people will be able to see all the different customers who have tagged themselves with Kurly Klips in the Kurly community.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. And to my fearless family, remember, don't deprive the universe of your amazing contributions because you die afraid.